Everyone, welcome back to the 100-day series of Heal Your Inner Child. Today we're on day 68. And the next few days, we're just going to continue working with our inner child and connecting with our inner child when it comes to creativity, when it comes to expression. And I think from the 60th to the 69th, those 9 days, these 9 days, we're going to focus on specifically connecting with our inner child via creativity, right? So you'll be seeing various activities that we kind of work on, not just to connect with our inner child, but also because creativity is like the easiest way that I said. I had explained earlier, how the inner child actually starts to feel safe, when it comes to these creative endeavors, right? So today, we are going to expand on building a safe space, okay, sacred safe space for an inner child. Now remember that we have already worked on this in different ways earlier, right, in different forms. Now you might say that we've already done this exercise, why are we repeating it? So I want you to constantly go back to knowing or understanding, or go back to the nature of a child, right? What happens when you tell a child to do something, right? Or when you correct a child, rather, right? And you tell them that this is right and this is wrong. They might not get it in one go, isn't it? Sometimes they need some more reasoning, right? Sometimes they need more nudging, right? Sometimes they need you to tell them the same thing in different ways so that they can learn, isn't it? So as a child, like for instance, I was a very now that I think about it, a very visual kid, or somebody who's very tactile as well, right? So like making holiday, we used to all get holiday homeworks in India, right? And we had to create projects and stuff like that. So every time there was like a scrapbook in which we had to paste pictures, in which we had to paste leaves, in which we had to kind of do something like 3D, or create like planets. I used to love it. you know the learnings I used to get from that was way beyond what I would get, maybe if I read something or if I had to kind of learn something. But when I drew, and when I used different objects as part of projects, I my curiosity was kind of satiated, or I would like to learn more that way, right? Cutting pictures, putting pictures, I love that. Okay, so for us, we all have different ways to learn, right? Now we don't know how your inner child learns, right? So if we are repeating some things, different exercises, it's actually for you to be able to reach your inner child via different means, right? And perhaps, if your inner child is reachable, approachable, talk, if you can actually talk to your inner child easily, then even if you repeat it 3 4 times, the more you connect with your inner child, the more you embed this in the safety in your inner child, the better it is, right, for all of us. So either way, there is no right or wrong. However, I just want to say that the more you do this work, the more everybody will benefit. Okay, so the inner child would love to go to the sacred space that we are going to talk about today, again and again and again and again. Okay, so if you have any questions around why we are doing it, now have the answer right now. So what was so today, you all have already built a sacred space for your inner child. Okay, I think we worked on building an altar, isn't it? And I specifically said 3D, but like I said, that is me. That's what I would do, right? But for your inner child, you probably will do something else, right? For somebody, you can have a small corner in your room. For somebody, it can just be a shelf in your almari, right? For somebody, it can be a bedside table, or even a tiny tray on your table. Whatever, size does not matter. But what you want to do will come from your creativity, what your inner child gets attracted to, likes, right? So there are certain questions that I want you to focus on, okay, today. Go back to your safe space, that altar, whatever you've built, right, for your inner child, that safe space that the inner child wants. and answer these questions, and then see how you can enhance that space. Okay. So question one will be, what would make, so you're asking your inner child this, okay? Place your inner child there, okay? And ask, number one, what would make you feel safe here? Now, how would I answer? All the examples I'm giving you from my perspective is just for you to get an idea, right? However, you don't have to do that. This is just an idea for you to think and expand on. Get creative yourself, right? And when you get hear my idea, you'll actually, the inner child will actually give you more options to work with, right? So for me, safety would be maybe a pillow or maybe a blanket, right, from when I was a little kid, or it could even be, as a kid, I used to love being a teacher. Okay. So I used to have all these notebooks that I would fill with, just checking, and giving scores to different students. I had imaginary students and I was a teacher, and I would just keep marking all these registers one after the other. Okay. So if I could get one of those registers, I would feel so good, because I used to feel really happy doing that. Okay. So something like that. Okay. So whatever you felt safe with as a child, bring that and put it there. All right. Again, if you can't get it, of course, you can write it on a piece of paper what it is and just keep that piece of paper there. All right. Second question, what reminds you of warmth? Again, for me, it would be a tea set, or it would be a doll, like a little miniature doll house, right? So if you can't get any of that, you can draw it and you can place it. It's the feeling of warmth that needs to be um, uh, made alive rather than the thing itself. All right. And number three would be, what did you love as a child? What did you love as a child, right? So it could be a hair clip. I don't know if you can see it, a hair clip, right? Or it could be a pen. Anything you loved. You might love 100 things, you might love one thing. If you have that essence of it, you can write it down. If you have that, you can put that, right? So I want you to it could be a feather, a stone, a candle, a soft toy, a childhood photo, a small drawing, chocolate candy. Of course, don't put that, but it could it could get attract insects and stuff like that. So of course, not don't put perishable items there, but a chocolate wrapper, clean chocolate wrapper or something like that, right? Or even a handwritten note that I'm here with you, whatever it is that you can do that. So what you're doing is you are reaffirming to your inner child that this space that you've created for that inner child is very safe. You can come here when you feel scared. You are allowed to rest here. I created this for you. So the adult is telling the inner child, I created this for you. All right. This is a secret corner. You can create like an adult, or how we have the doll. You can place this. We already did this another day, right? So you're basically building a bridge between your past and your present, and you're creating the sanctuary, right? Where healing can rest, unfold, and return to you and you again and again, right? Tell that inner child, this is for us, right? And yeah, and I feel like if you're gonna go back to these three questions and you answer them and you enhance the space, it will add so much more, and your inner child will feel so much more safe. And of course, beyond these questions, if you think you want to add something else that makes it feel safe, go ahead and do that. Honor your inner child, right? With that, I sign off for today. Anisha Dutt from Zarya Healings.